Okay, it is time for our weekly Survivor recap. This week marked episode 10 of season 49, titled Huge Dose of Bamboozle. And I caught it right away.
I did too.
Steven.
I had actually walked away for a second with it still playing on, and he said it while, and I was like, oh, I heard it.
Take note, take note. But you guys, bamboozled, I was. By the end of the episode, I was like, wait, what? Left, right, center, up, down. What's my name?
This was a good one. This was a good one. I liked this one.
Yes. Okay. So we start out Lawatu Tribe, night 17. It is our final 8 survivors. And as we know, last week, Alex was voted off. Many people thought it was a blind side. You know, they didn't really see it coming. Some people did, especially Christina, who got pretty emotional about Alex leaving because it's kind of her and Steven against everyone else.
I get surprised when she gets emotional about somebody because I don't feel like she has very strong alliances, or at least that were shown, you know?
Yeah.
Like her and Steven, yes, I see that, but I didn't really know her and Alex were as close.
I didn't either, you know? And then remember, you guys, Christina does have her idol. And when she formed that like trio alliance, she's like, I will play it for, you know, either of you if it's looking like you're going to be, you know. So again, Christina promises Steven, like, I'll play my idol for you if it's looking bad for you. Okay.
So, but then we get a little later into the night, and then we have our little group of Rizzo, Sophie, Soph, and Savannah go off, and they're like, you know, who do we think we should kick off next?
Yes.
You know, and they kind of like, it's between Christina and Steven, you know, I don't. So it's like, the logical move is Steven, which, you know, I kind of get. He's a strong person, social and challenge-wise.
Yes, he is.
So, you know, they have their sights set on Steven.
Yeah, and Soph surprised me. She's like this cute little innocent, kind of like just mousy girl. But when she goes, I'm ready to stab him, Steven, in the back the next chance I get, I was like, whoa, this is a new Soph. And she is ready to play because she's kind of coasted by.
Yeah, she has.
She's never been a target.
And here she is, finally, you know, getting out there a little bit more. So we'll see where that takes her.
Yes.
So then we move on to the next morning.
And
and
18.
Sage ends up, so episode or so ago, Steven tells Sage about Christina's, thank you,
yeah,
idol.
Christina's idol.
And he tells her, swears it a secrecy. Well, Sage finally tells Jawan, despite Steven's request.
Yes.
And Jawan's kind of like, I don't like that Steven didn't tell me that. You know, I thought we were close. So he kind of goes and tests Steven, and Steven does not pass the test.
No.
So Jawan's kind of like, oh, should I keep Steven around?
Exactly. So then Jawan's feelings are obviously turning because, like you said, he's not sure if he can trust Steven now. Steven is a steel trap. Good for Steven.
Exactly.
Did not give up the goods, okay? But again, it's once like putting Steven at a disadvantage, and he's already at a very big disadvantage, as is Christina.
Yeah.
Speaking of Christina, this episode was kind of revolving around her because she was ready to go home. You know, she can't tell the difference between game betrayal, personal betrayal. You know, and Steven has an inkling that the next vote at Tribal could 100% be him. But they both agree their thoughts are to get Savannah out.
And Savannah's the name that occurs every week. Will they get Savannah out? We'll find out.
Yeah.
But on top of Christina, we jump ahead to our reward challenge that day. And they all pull up. They get there. Jeff asks a question to Christina, and she breaks down. Like, I mean, breaks down. And I feel bad. She's like, I want my mom, Jeff. I can't do this. I want her to be here. And it was really...
It's sad because she revealed weeks ago that her mom did pass away. And this was just like a very vulnerable moment. She's like, I want my mom. Like, I can't do this. So, you know, she kind of has that, but then recovers, gets herself together.
I applaud Jeff for knowing how to handle that situation. I was like, how is Jeff going to address that?
Like,
I would have been like, I don't really know what to say, personally, you know? Like, so Jeff did a good job.
I loved how he said, what would your mom tell you in this moment?
Yeah, and I think that
going, baby
that
girl.
really helped her.
Yeah.
You know. So then we move into our reward challenge.
Yes.
So they're divided into 2 teams again, 2 teams of 4. So the first pair leaps off a very tall platform and makes their way across a series of obstacles to retrieve a buoy. The next pair goes and repeats that. Then once they have all 3 buoys, they have to make this.
Kind of have to, like,
buoys
tetherball
and
into this big net that's like feet above.
Yeah, and they have to do it 3 times. I thought that was kind of fun, the tetherball aspect to it. Now, for the most part, people have a relatively easy time. Rizzo struggles to get across his high beam obstacle, and it really kind of takes a toll on him, which we'll see here shortly. And then there was also another player that had a little bit of trouble. And
Christina.
Christina, yes.
She literally fell off the plank, and you could, as long as you were holding onto the plank, you were good to go. Her body was in the water, but she was still holding onto the plank. She somehow maneuvered her body back up on it.
Yeah.
And just to go back to Rizzo, can I just say, he really isn't the strongest competitor.
No, he's not.
He is one of the first out every single challenge.
Yeah, he's more of a strategic player, social player, instead of challenge player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just to remind you, the reward was you get to go to the sanctuary with a backyard picnic with hamburgers, hot dogs, chocolate cake. Once again, schoolyard pick. So we had the blue team was Soph, Steven, Sage, and Sophie. And then the yellow team was Savannah, Juwan, Christina, and Rizzo. Ends up blue does win the reward challenge. They go to their boat, get sent off to the sanctuary picnic, and yellow has to swim back to shore.
Yep.
And then back at camp, Rizzo starts to kind of break down and crack under the pressure.
Yeah, which I was kind of surprised by. But then once everybody kind of joins back at camp, we have our remaining Red Tribe kind of start powwowing along with Sophie and Soph. And they're discussing, we should all vote out Steven. But, of course, Sage, being Sage, he's like, I'm lying to everybody. I don't agree with this. I don't want Steven out. And she tells Steven his name's on the chopping block.
Right.
So Sage, Steven, and Savannah, Christina want to vote out Savannah. It's just a lot of back and forth and everything as well.
It's a lot of like, let's get Christina out, let's get Steven out, let's get Savannah out. Then you have Sophie, who has kind of been the reigning champ. Sophie and Savannah as well. But Sophie is also down to get Savannah out because, again, they're always neck and neck in these big immunity challenges.
Yeah.
But now we have Sophie, who's in the middle, playing both sides, and that gets us to our immunity challenge.
Yeah.
Granted, there's a dilemma thrown into the mix prior to the challenge. Charlie?
So Jeff offers, hey, 3 people set out, I'll give you the bag of rice that'll last you guys the rest of the game. Juwan's like, Uncle Jeff, how about 2 people for half the bag? Jeff's like, no deal.
No deal.
And so they end up not, the negotiations don't go their way, so everybody is in it for themselves.
Yes.
So then we get into our challenge. I liked this one. So they had to race through a survivor teeter tunnel, basically. Once through, they had to maneuver discs around an obstacle to get the handle. Using the handle, they had to transport puzzle pieces across a hinged balance beam and then put a puzzle together. It's a pretty tight race for the most part. Everybody's sticking pretty well together. Steven's very close to it, but Sophie does pull off the win.
Yes, they were neck and neck. Sophie, again, very good challenge player. She wins immunity. And then Savannah actually then opens up to Sophie and shows her extra vote and deciding between Sage and Juwan getting voted out. Toss up between sending Sage, Juwan, and Steven home. So 3 people now.
And then we get into our tribal council, which is where the meat of this episode is. So first of all, there's the debate, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't matter. Jeff goes, anybody like to use their idol? Christina's like, Jeff, I'd like to play mine for Steven.
For Steven, yes.
So any votes for Steven? Out.
Yes.
Then Rizzo's like, Jeff, I would like to play my idol. He goes up. He makes a little speech. Jeff is like, this is not a hidden immunity idol.
Yeah.
And they're all like, what? Why didn't you play your real one? So, and then Rizzo and Savannah are kind of egging on as the votes are counted. The votes do come out down to Rizzo 1, Savannah 3, Juwan 5. Savannah does use her extra vote, and Juwan is sent home.
Which bamboozled I was, you guys. I did not really see it coming. I for sure thought it was going to be Savannah or Steven going home.
I thought Sage might have been in there too, as a possibility. But it was a really good episode. I did like this one.
It was. You guys, new episode of Survivor tomorrow night, and we'll be recapping it next week.